Aiden, have you seen the whole second season? How good is it?
It's so good.
It's pretty satisfying.
Better than the first?
No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Thank you.
It's not better than the first.
What do we gotta do
More
for that?
absurd.
it's about
Is
to-
this on my computer?
Huh?
Cool.
In terms of quality, I'd say it's up there with it.
It's definitely good.
Crazier.
Oh, rest bananas.
Here, have it then.
I can't try not to save my life. Stop flashing. Yeah.
It is.
You are trying to switch using creative alternatives that my family used it in my early childhood.
I like it. I like it.
Thanks. Family classic.
Yes, I'm gonna put those.
I'm so glad everyone wants to see this budget. Really calling an audience.
Baby,
People like budgeting, I guess.
I was listening to that song all today. Still don't know a single word.
Josh, tough loss today.
Good to have
Michigan. Ohio State and Michigan.
you. No,
Yeah. Oh no, Michigan State. My bad.
I don't know what song that is, but just the only song that would be appropriate would be the Law and Order theme song. Just don't know.
Nope, we're playing
Wow,
Wow, I like that.
So legend.
Laughing. 6:59, this is all through their evening here.
You still have to start with someone else.
Wow.
Have you done this yet?
Facilitate? No.
Okay.
Nice.
But you're taking minutes.
Just because we're going on senatorial I'll start it.
You have to take minutes. No one else is going to take minutes. Who else hasn't done
Don't I have to facilitate at some point?
yeah, but you're taking minutes. Other people haven't done it.
Alright, it's 7. Do you just want me to start?
I have not.
Has anyone not done it?
7.
I already think that you know.
I'll do it.
You have to take minutes.
Yo, guys!
When they get here?
7 o'clock.
Look, you write down who's not here.
Yeah.
I have the attendance.
I don't want to deal with that.
Let's not make this an issue. Let's do it. Let's not make this an issue.
Wait, just do it until they get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I turn back. It's on my computer. Alright, we'll just start with
Awesome. Should I announce it or actually?
yeah. No, start.
Alright, so before we start, we have to approve the agenda, and Jesse's, what? It's not up there. I know, that's
Can
what I
we
was saying.
check in before we? Is that bad? Check in.
Yes.
Check in first.
The check-in's after. Check-in's first. Alright. Introduce yourself, your year, preferred PGPs, and what your high point of your week was this week. I'm Zia, second-year student senator. He, him, his, and my high point was my band releasing an EP. That beats me. Go ahead. I'm Harrison Woolman, second year. He, him, his. High point of my week was talking to my mom for a while. Got to have some great talk with her.
My name is Nia. I'm a second year, and the high point of my week is probably similar to Harrison's. I got to have a really long talk with my dad, which was great.
Hi, I'm Hope. I'm a third year. She, her, hers. And yeah, honestly, like I just like to talk to the family this week. Shout out my pets, like they're doing well, you know. So.
I'm Lauren. I'm a fourth year. I prefer she, her, and hers. And the high point of my week was getting all of the ad hocs done.
reaction to the
Aiden Appel, I'm here from I'm writing an article for the review about Student Senate. So I'll be in touch with many of you either personally or just during discuss today. I'll call you. So watch what you say. I'm on the review. Aiden.
What? You want me to go change this one? Alright. No, that
My bad. That's a good story.
Was that?
Wait, can you? Don't touch it. Don't touch it. There's a bunch of red flags.
The student senate over here.
Do you mind if I just sit there? Is that alright? Or you can sit here.
Also, guys, there's a picture. Oh, never mind. There's one here in the back. Need a bandage? I have a bandage. What kind of color is this?
Yeah. Hey guys, we're gonna continue checking in a second. Sorry, we're trying to blast.
Yes. Thank you, boys.
Yeah, great. Thank you. It's been
Oh, I worked in the church campus.
Aiden.
Could you repeat your statement?
Wait, what?
Could you repeat your statement, please?
My name is Aiden Appel. I'm a contributing writer for Review, and I'm doing an article on the functions of Student Senate.
Is that what you said last time?
Yes.
Can I ask what your review's policy on just because I've been in certain meetings before where it was like, well, you know what, actually, I'm very y'all are sort of.
I'm Effie Shaker Hurts. I highlighted my week. I don't have friends from back home. Also, I'm a photographer for the review, and I don't know how this happens, but whether I can have permission to take pictures or not.
Please come in, try to make room for like those who are coming in. Also, like be conscious of like ability. If you don't need to be on the couch, people request that. Be conscious of that. Also, can we wait like maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do names and introductions because there are people still entering the room and we just have to repeat yourself. Thank you.
I object to having my picture taken.
Can we vote on approving the agenda? Yeah.
Final soda.
What?
You can vote to table check-in and move directly to agendas and come back to the check-ins. Why?
Does somebody propose that? Yeah. Just to get it done with.
This is what everyone's here for. Look at my honestly, look at
No,
gonna begin. Well, yeah, we're gonna begin with check-ins. Then we're gonna begin to proceed to the approval of the agenda. I just want to start off by saying that everyone in the room is welcome to speak up and get on stack, and say whatever you want to say. But yeah, so I don't know what check-in. You wanna?
The question we were doing earlier is what was the high point of your week? Like, if you don't want to use that, that's fine, but just for your information.
I think just because of the amount of people in the room, maybe we should keep it to something short. Yeah. Is everyone okay with names, preferred gender pronouns, and year? And you can also omit any of that information if you choose. Okay. So. Also, can everyone hear me? Because all of what I'm saying is irrelevant. Okay. So I guess I'll begin. My name is Kiki, AC. I'm a second year, and my preferred gender pronouns are they, them, and theirs, and I don't mind he, him, and his. And we can go either.
Okay, so I'm Jesse. I am a second year. I prefer he, him, and his.
I'm Peter. I'm a third year. I go he, him, his.
Sarah, I'm a second year. I go she, her, hers.
I'm Rue. I'm a first year. I like she, her, hers, and they, them, theirs.
I'm Vernon, second year, he, him, his. Hi everyone, Aaron, second year, he, him, his.
Hey, I'm Emma. I'm a first year. I use she, her, and hers.
I'm Zia. I'm a second year. He, him, his.
I'm Rachel. I'm a fourth year. She, her, and hers.
I'm Jessica. I'm a fourth year. She, her, hers.
Juan. I'm a first year. He, him, his.
I'm Mia. I'm a fourth year. For she, her, and hers.
I'm Ben, I'm second year, I prefer he, him, his. Colin, I'm a second year, he, him, his.
I'm Adam. I'm Nick. I'm a fourth year. He, him, his.
Nick Jeffrey, second year, he, him, his.
I'm Josh, second year, he, him, his.
Alright, Robert. Second year. He, him, his.
Emily, she, her, hers, third year.
Natalie, first year, she, her, hers.
Yami, second year.
Andrew.
Okay, I'm Sabrisa. I use she, her, and hers. I'm a second year. I'm a third year. Why am I not in my year? Great. I'm Maddie. I'm a third year. I use she, her, and hers.
James, second year, he, him, his. I'm Mike, third year, he, him, his.
Clark, second year, he, him, his.
And I use she, her, hers.
Hi, I'm Jesse. I'm a fourth year. I use he, him, his.
I'm Andy. I'm a second year. And I use she, her, hers.
AJ, I'm fourth year. I use he, him, his.
Hi, I'm me. I'm a third year.
I'm Milo. I'm a fourth year. I prefer they, them, and theirs. This is also fine.
Lexi, fourth year. She, hers.
H.L., fourth year.
Lisa, second year, she, her, hers.
Lauren, fourth year. She, her, hers.
Hope, third year, she, her, hers.
Mia. Oh.
Andrew, first year, he, him, his.
Mia, second year. I like she, her, hers.
Harrison, second year, he, him, his.
I'm Paul. I'm a fourth year. I use he, him, his.
Tiana, second year, she, her, hers, and then hers.
Already know who you use.
Lockwood, second year, he, him, his.
I'm John Bergen. I use he, him, and his, and I'm 2 months from graduating.
Oh, sorry. Roshni, I'm in the Alma's office. She, her, hers.
Hi, Eric, I prefer he, him, and his.
You guys already won.
Yeah. So I think that's everyone, and so moving on to the approval of the agenda, or I don't know what the possible sort of.
We said we were going to do things last week at the end of the session, and Jesse has been on.
I have a few
last week's minutes. Yeah, I needed them off what we did.
Alright. Okay. Hope, should I just go around and say what people said? Okay. Hope, you said that you were going to work on the tobacco policy resolution with Mahmoud and continue meetings with Aaron Appel as city liaison and meet with members of the community. Yes.
Yeah. I hadn't had a chance to work with Mahmoud, but I did see Michelle Gross of CDS, and I also spoke with Aaron about one of our projects that we're working on as city liaisons. So.
What? Did I say Apple? Yeah. My bad. I apologize. Apple. Rachel, you said you were going to get in touch with Aaron, Apple, and myself and schedule interviews for this week.
Yeah, we did interviews for all of the student honor committee, also forum board, and environmental sustainability.
Mock, you said you were going to work with Hope on the resolution and attend interviews.
I didn't attend any interviews.
Did you work on the resolution?
Privately, no.
Okay. Mia, you were going to work with Lauren on how to tighten up the SFC referendum.
Yeah, we weren't able to meet, but I've been working on like the spring referendum privately.
Okay. Zia, you were going to talk to more students about student health.
Yeah, I did that. I also started a dialogue with the trustees. I'm emailing them now, or the class trustee now, about putting a little more pressure on administration, reforming student health and mental health. Sure.
Kiana, you were going to figure out how to order food for events.
Well, I was going to do that for the MRC training codes canceled, so I began to set that canceled.
Okay. Kiki, you were going to talk to Dean Estes about EMT working groups.
I did not talk to Barry. I did talk to I wasn't able to schedule a meeting with him during
Ari, you said you were going to send out an email to all the people on South Campus working group and hopefully meet.
We did meet, and it was great.
Harrison, you said you were going to put together a sustainability guide for your working group.
I have not contacted Aaron about that yet, but I'll make sure that before our meeting.
Okay. Peter, you were going to work on the EMT project and meet with President Krislav for tobacco and put budget together for the Senate.
Did it, and I got the budget, and the font was just fantastic. You guys can love it.
And Paul, you were going to go to Green Hedge Fund. You were going to go to Green Hedge Fund meetings, office hours, and MRC training.
I didn't find it on my teacher.
Yeah.
Does anyone know where some extra chairs might be?
I think so. Yeah. How many more do we need? Like 4.
You would like a chair, raise your hand.
Someone needs a chair.
Yeah.
Alright. And then I said that I was going to put up the minutes, and we did that. So, that's it.
Cool, moving on to the approval of the agenda. Would anyone like to add or take away anything from the agenda as is?
Should we add on committee appointments? And decisions, I guess.
Oh, committee appointments is on.
It is.
Oh, committee reports. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no.
So that would go under discussion or decisions?
Decisions.
Okay.
I'd like to talk about, I'm blanking, sorry. The chartering for the flute organization. I just want to bring that back up. They're going to resubmit their charter soon. Oh.
For the flute?
For the flute.
Flute, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Bring the flute up.
Alright.
Monthly report under committee reports.
And anyone else is also welcome to add things to outside business or discussions or suggest things for the agenda. Sorry. Yes.
I go under announcements, but I asked Zia to bring up an event that would be really important for a lot of members of Senate and people in this room to attend this week. So I can either make an announcement during that time, or Zia can bring up.
Is there a topic that actually was brought up?
There are 2 workshops. Thank you.
Those other announcements.
So, some general feelings about this agenda is that looks positive. Awesome. Moving on. Because is there any outside business that someone didn't bring up? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right. Announcements. So, Diana, this is you.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go somewhere where I can see everything. Okay. Zia Candler and I have worked pretty hard to put together. Well, I didn't put together the workshops, but we're bringing this man named Chris Crass, who is an organizer, writer, and activist. He's giving 2 workshops. One is anti-racist community building and organizing for white communities. And the second one is why men need feminism. So if you're already thinking, oh, those don't apply to me, you should go. I think we sort of talked about this, whether or not Senate could send out an email to the student list and how that works. I know it's a little complicated, so I'm capable of advertising, obviously, fearlessly, but also if it's possible to send out a student list email, that would be great. And if not, I'll see you all there. They are Wednesday and Thursday. From 7 to 10, you can come anywhere from 30 minutes to all 3 hours. And it's going to be in the HALC classroom. There's a Facebook link.
Wonderful. So, any more announcements that were not noted before? Cool. Moving on, office hour reports. Senators, supplies, especially guys. Office hours, yes.
A student approached me about extending the hours at the gym. She didn't like that it opened at 1 on Sundays and that it closed at 10 on weekdays, and so I was going to talk to Harrison, who's on the athletics committee, about possibly seeing if we can reshuffle those for the next year.
I'll talk to you about it. What was this kid's name? Matthew Kendrick came to my office hours from the honor committee and was really receptive to working together with Kiki and I as South Campus liaison to do what we outlined in our officer positions to do, just help him make the honor committee visible to South Campus community. So I wanted to share that it felt nice that somebody could use our help, felt comfortable to ask for it. That was nice. So we will be working with the honor committee.
Any other office hour reports? What committee reports? I know you brought up a monthly report.
Yeah.
Committee reports me. So part of my job as committee liaison is to publicize like updates from the committees. I reached out to a lot of them. We also sent out like an online form that they could fill out. Did not get a lot of responses, but 4 of the committees sent reports. Student Honor Committee, Committee on Environmental Sustainability, General Faculty Committee on Admissions and Financial Aid, and the Anti-Sweatshop Committee. So I have some updates from those, and I will be sending them to Jesse to post on the Senate website.
Rachel, do you want us to approach the chairs of the committees we serve on and ask them to contact you with updates?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
Any more committee reports? Yes.
This isn't really a committee, it's the Green Edge Fund, which I guess it's a committee, but we just conditionally approved a project for a greenhouse that's going to be placed between Mud and Dascombe. Our RCT proposed this project, and it's going to be a place where they can plant seedlings that are going to go in the J-house garden. And they're also going to have an herb garden in that greenhouse that the CDS workers from Dascombe are going to be able to go out and pick herbs to use in the food there. So that project is underway.
One, working group reports. Any working group reports?
Well, this week the Environmental Sustainability Working Group met and there were no students there. So this is a formal invitation to everybody in the room that if you want to talk about the environment and campus and all that good stuff, you should come to Azariah's every other Friday at 1 p.m. because it's really important that people come who aren't just Paul and I. So thanks. Hope to see you there.
The student health working group didn't get to meet this week. It's going to meet next week. I'm still picking the time. But at the trustee forum, I did manage to establish a contact with the student trustee. And he mentioned, I shared with him an Excel sheet I've compiled, which is basically a list of student grievances I've received concerning students' experience with student health and areas where they'd like to see it improved. And he expressed that he would want to hear more from students because this is the most effective way to hear what the actual issues are, and it would be very helpful in coming up with possible solutions. So I'm going to take this chance to say to everyone, if you've had any issues with student health in the past or Mercy Allen, email me, zia.smallens@oberlin.edu, ziya.smallens. It's also online.
Myself on Stack. South Campus Working Group met this past week and talked about some issues on Senate. Also, South Campus Working Group is open to everyone, obviously, all students and stuff. So if you, we pretty much just talk about Senate workings and what, Also, if you do have grievances as it regards student health, I just want to insert that if you don't feel comfortable sending to a specific senator, you can also send it to the student senate email address or to any other senator at this table who can also relay the information. Just saying. Oh yeah. Well, we're probably gonna make another time for our working group, but it currently meets on Wednesday at lunchtime in Dascombe, but we are considering moving it to Third World Co-op. So,
Would it be possible to do a when is good for that? Because I know that there's at least 2 senators who have a recurring conflict.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Another thing that we discussed on the South Campus Working Group was we've already drafted and developed a survey of the South Campus community with specific questions. I won't go into all of them, but they should help guide Kiki and I as we more clearly present what we mean when we say as the South Campus liaisons. Our community has communicated X, Y, and Z with us about how they feel about the tobacco ban, how they feel about spaces on campus, how they interpret their relationship to Senate. These are all critical questions that as liaison and as the working group we need to know, because again, there are only, I think, I don't know who identifies as part of the South Campus community at this table, but we feel it's significantly limited. So that survey will be going out. It's done, so today.
I just want to respond to something Zia was saying. Is there any way you could set up an anonymous form or in relation to what he was saying so that...
Can direct response.
Yes.
You have a question? All right. So I was going to add to my point that if you want to be confidential, just say so, and I can make it such, and your name will be attached to anything you say.
Can I respond to that? Just so that if people have something that they don't want you to know that they have, or whatever, because student health deals with personal issues, if you could set up an anonymous form, that would probably be really helpful.
Yeah, so Sustainable Transportation Working Group is on an every other week basis, and we didn't meet this past Friday, but since there's so many people here, I wanted to extend the invitation to all of you. We're doing every other Friday from 2:30 to 3:30 in Azariah's. And we have a cool group of people, but we definitely want more. So if you can make it, that'd be great.
Any other working group reports?
I'm not the chair of this working group, but I know the transversing working group is talking about the tobacco proposal, so that's a place where you can come and discuss that topic if you're interested. So I don't know when the dates of that will be, but get in touch with Hope.
Yeah, sorry, I just reiterate that. We didn't meet this week, but we're going to meet next week. We don't have a specific time, but if you would like to get involved and also just like we're really open to like discussion, so like discussion subjects. So if anyone wants to bring that up, please email me. My name is Hope Casson. I don't think there are many other Hopes, but yeah.
Cool. Okay, we're gonna move on. Okay, Senate budget. I don't know why I stared at that for so long. Senate budget for next year.
Yeah, so I put together a budget for next year, getting it on time by the time we have to do budgeting. So that's the 16th, so I figured I'd send it out to you guys now. And check it out. Tell me what you think, tell me if there's anything I'm missing, and if it's not terrible, and if the number of spelling errors is minimal, then we can, prove it maybe. I based it on previous budgets that this organization has passed, and by that I mean I sort of updated the one that we used previously. So yeah.
I have myself on stack. Do you have like last year's budget or the year before the budget so we can compare ourselves?
I mean I can do that one too. I got somewhere on here. I'm looking for it.
Cool.
This one's like very similar to
Cool. Have you completed the mid-year report that's also due on the same day? That like we have. I don't know if Senate has to complete that.
Never been done, but I can complete it.
I can forward it to you.
It's a thing we learned in treasurer training. So that's where I know that.
I'm forwarding it to you next year.
That'd be nice because I've never done it.
Your next one.
If you go to the I mean, Peter, you have that readily available. That'd be better. But just also for anybody that wants to look at budgets, it's on the SFC website under I think documentation, and it has like I think going back to fiscal year 09, something like that. Yeah. So, but Peter has that.
Yeah, I got it. Do you guys want to go over? I guess I could make it a Google Doc / upload it there tonight or something.
If you want, okay, so Monica, and then
Since our pay has to be reaffirmed, how is that taken into account with this budget? Like if we pass this, but it ends up that we're not paid again next semester?
do you have an actual response to that question?
Direct response.
Is it factual?
I mean, it's more of a clarifying question from Lauren.
Paul is on stack. Paul.
I was going to talk about wages too on your budget. Put our wages at $785, and we actually got a raise this semester to $795 because the minimum wage increased in the state of Ohio. So you might want to take that into account.
And then you're on stack.
I looked it up not that long ago, and it was $785. But yeah, I can definitely update it and send that out to you.
Yeah, it did. It says Ohio's minimum wage is scheduled to increase on January 1st, 2014 to $7.95 per hour.
Could you speak to my question, please, Peter? About like if we don't get paid, like how that affects us.
Yeah. So, can I stack?
Yes.
If I don't, that's a question I might have to ask someone at OST. I don't know exactly what the protocol is. If we cannot get the referendum pay reaffirmation by the end of the year, we won't get paid. In which case, I guess they just wouldn't give us that section of the funding. And I could talk to OST about setting that up, but I can make a note of it.
I have my cell phone stack. Does anyone have a factual response or know the answer to Mahmoud's question? Cool. So that is something that we need to find out the answer to, actual answer to, and then have them on stack.
Okay, I have a couple of things. The first, under 3 publication costs, it talks about a newsletter that is published approximately once per month. Do we publish that? And if not, I'm not sure it should be in the budget unless we have like very concrete plans to start publishing it again. The second is the New York Times. Like, I understand that we provide it for students free of charge, but it says we're providing 8. I think there's more than 8 students in the school, so maybe I'm misunderstanding something, which is highly possible because numbers and I don't get along. But like a point of clarification on that would be pretty super. And the third is in response to Mahmoud's point. I'm not the SFC, so I can't speak to this, but I'm pretty sure if we should be budgeting for like the case in which we spend the most money, and then they can choose to like say like, nope, we're gonna take this money back, or if we don't pass the referendum renewing our pay, then they would just like deny us funding for pay, and we'd be all squared away. So if that answers the question, that's cool. I hope.
Is it facts? Is it facts?
It's factual. We pay for a few copies of the New York Times. Other organizations pay for other copies.
Peter, I would suggest you and I find some time next week to just work one-on-one on this.
Yeah.
And then bring it back to Senate.
All right.
Is that a proposal? You get to vote on this?
Not if we're not passing it.
Coach I think there are 2 monthly reports that are supposed to come out. I'm supposed to do one of them, and then it says Outreach is supposed to do one of them, but I've never seen that happen, and so I'm not really sure what the deal is that. But I published mine in the Oberlin Review last week, and I think that's been like the precedent for the past couple of years. So I don't think we need to allocate money towards printing these since we have the review.
Okay, I can delete that.
Any other concerns? So I'm not 100% how to proceed. Do we need to vote on whatever we're going to vote on this? Okay. Cool. So we're moving on to committee appointments. Yes.
Good. Also, sorry I wasn't here last week at Plenary. I had a conflict with the class, but I spent the past week organizing interviews with a bunch of people on the student honor committee, and 2 for the forum board, and then we already had 1 scheduled for the committee on environmental sustainability. So I've shared all those with you. I apologize for the delay for Olivia's for committee on environmental sustainability. I thought I sent it to you. I sent you the blank document, but now the actual one is sent to you. So I don't know. We can take some time, I guess, like looking over that. If anybody has any questions, I was at all the interviews, but so were other senators, and the other senators are listed on all the documents. So if everyone wants to take some time to take a look through what we have, that would be cool.
Yes, sorry.
So Zia and Diani's interview was together?
Yes.
At the same time? No, I'm just clarifying.
Okay, so I have myself on stack. I was at what, 3, maybe 4 of the interviews. I don't remember, but I don't know. Considering the amount of people in the room, I would just hint to the order. So the second person we met with, I didn't find this person very accommodating or critical in the thought in the way. Are we appointed? Okay, I didn't find them very like accommodating as regards like being on the honor committee, honor code committee, or yeah. And so I would consider like maybe not appointing them, but the other people I did meet with were fairly awesome.
What's the name of the second person?
Yeah, I can send it to Senate. I know this is also like open, but I don't want to like put that person out there like that.
Oh, okay.
If people are okay
Gotcha.
with that.
Yeah.
Honor
committee, like Kiki.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have you and then
Can you describe the ways in which you felt they were accommodating?
they just didn't really think outside of like this is what this is what they did, so they should be punished in this way, and they weren't very cognizant of like issues that may arise from the student's perspective. And I think that's important in having a person on the
That was my question.
Yeah.
Can you give a direct example of that? I know that you interviewed them, so I would expect that you could.
Direct example of what?
How you felt that they responded to your question maybe in a less accommodating way than they should have? Like, do you have a quote before the interview, so I would expect that you can provide a concrete example?
Considering you don't really know how those interviews are operating, you're welcome to be present at some of them. I did not quote them. I did not write down much of what they said, but there were also other senators there who can speak to that. If you want detailed responses, I suggest you. I think if anyone was taking minutes, you should refer to the minutes. I was not. Jesse.
For the other senators who were present at that interview,
I should send out the names.
did anybody find this senator unaccommodating?
Just give us a minute.
Or not the senators, the applicant. Thank you. Just when this name is sent out, if somebody could speak to if they found him or her unaccommodating and why.
I sent them one year's thing because I didn't feel like opening it. I have already in text.
Aaron, what did you title your notes? I just can't find them.
They should be in order by time. So we have like 3:30, and then I would start a new. So they're all in the same Google Doc.
What is it called?
Oh, they're called Interview Questions Student Honor Committee. You're all shared on that. And then I took minutes on those. I tried to be as detailed as possible. And each new, the counter's on there. Each new person was on a new page to separate them. So the second person would be the one at the second time slot for senators.
Rachel.
Okay. I was at the interview. I guess the way I interpret this is that sometimes this student didn't exactly answer the questions that they were asked, and it seemed like to me they may have been because they didn't quite know how to respond, I guess. But I don't know. I don't have anything strong feelings against them, but I can understand what Kiki was saying because I was there.
Okay, then I have here.
One of the first notes in here discusses, the candidate says they think that a person who can make fair decisions on individual cases, and it's very, very important to review things case by case, democratically, instead of just dishing out punishment. That's sort of a quote, didn't do a great job with it. But that was their response to what is the most important thing about being on the honor committee. Didn't you say it was that they didn't seem like they're super in depth on each individual case?
I didn't say that.
But can you clarify for me what your...
I can put myself on stack, but
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make, and I also see another quote saying that are there any instances where you would excuse the honor code? He says, well, he does say it would be hard for me to let it fly, but then he says there are different incidents to deal with, which I take to mean implicitly that there are circumstances under which you would consider taking into account the specific person at play. So I don't know I forgot who said they wrote these, but for the people there, I wonder if this kind of sentiment was echoed throughout his interview or...
Was I on stack?
I thought you were.
No.
Yeah, so maybe it was just because I went to a lot of these, I felt like some of them gave like very similar answers to one another. I wasn't more impressed by this one than others. I guess what I feel about these committee applicants were they all seem qualified. But I think like the most important thing that we did was what Ari would say at the end and what I tried to say when she wasn't there. But like reminding them kind of where they should focus on, like who they're working for, and like the students and that sort. So I think that was important, and I don't really have anything against the person. She seemed a little bit more rigid than the others, which was concerning just to the degree, but I think she can work on that. So I wouldn't be opposed to having her on, especially if we reaffirm sort of like, you're here as students representing students, and you should understand the situations that people come into the student honor committee, come before the student honor committee, like carrying. So that's what I think about it.
Yeah, I think that there may be some things that these notes can't capture, which was like maybe inflection and tone, as well as like there is one part where Aaron asks, are there any instances where you would excuse the honor code, and this person, also be careful to use like gender pronouns, because you can't ascribe this person's gender pronouns were she, her, and hers. Anyway, I think what she said was, it would be hard for me to let it fly. There are different incidents to deal with, and this was the part of the conversation that made me most uncomfortable, but not all of it is there in the notes. But I can assure you that there was, that I had a high level of discomfort with that response. So I would be okay not appointing the other three that we met with, but not necessarily this candidate.
I have myself on stack.
How many open spots are there from the student honor? A lot. Like how much?
I got.
Correct response.
I got an email that said like as many as 30.
Oh my God.
Like it's a huge committee. They just need a certain amount to like get started.
How many do they need to get started?
Enough so that if we didn't appoint one or two, they would still be able to get started. That's not a really good factual response. I'm gonna look it up right now.
A number.
Yeah, 7.
I have myself on stack. I think the point of my response was that I knew that we did not need to elect all of them right now. They only needed a certain amount, and if we were going to choose, that was my take, as the impression that this person left on me, rather than votes exactly. Again, I recognize like that a lot of them were first years to begin with, and so I recognize that they're not always coming into this space or into spaces with critical like framework as regards like these things, but I think the point of me making that statement was that if we were going to choose, I think a lot of other candidates had a lot more potential to think outside of themselves rather than this candidate specifically, and And I think personally, like that's a very good quality for someone who is going to be judging other people. It's important to be able to think outside of yourself and your positionality in this space. And so that's where that was coming from. Also, yeah. So then I have mine.
I think if there are many seats and we have less candidates than there are seats, there may be a benefit in having a sense of like a diversity of thought on the board, in the sense that it is a deliberative body and not one person would be making a decision at any point. And so if she is somebody that stands out, if it's like overtly negative, then yes, we should say no. But if it's just like this one thing, it may contribute to a more robust conversation once they actually have decisions to make.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask really quickly. All these candidates have been reviewed by people on the honor committee already, and then they were passed on to us after that stage, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Is that and then I have Sarah, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I was just wondering, for those who were at the interview, if they felt it was some sort of rigidity that wouldn't be open to changing. I know that the honor committee trains their members, and I would also assume that the honor committee has a culture within their committee as to what's expected of each member and what's acceptable for different judgments. So I think that if people who are at the interview felt that this person being exposed to that atmosphere would allow them to be a good functional member, I think that's something that should be taken into consideration.
I have my stuff in the stack again. I think that's a great point you bring up about the honor committee and its culture and where it's coming from. Also, it's not made up of just students. It is also made up of, like Peter said, like they've been interviewed, but it wasn't by students. It was by like faculty and whoever else is not students on this campus. And I think that's an important thing to take into consideration, which is why Student Senate and why we decided to go along with these appointments, with these interviews, is because Student Senate represents, or is supposed to represent the student body and the will and interests of the student body. And so that's what we go into the interview looking for. We're not necessarily trying to find people who will function within these committees or within these committees very necessarily smoothly and make it easy for the administration to make decisions about students and student life on this campus without actually being in position of being a student on this campus. And I think we try, at least from my perspective and from the conversation that Senate had and based on the decision we did make to proceed with the interviews, we trying to have people on these committees who understand that they are supposed to represent the student's voice and not necessarily the professor's voices, not necessarily the administration's voices, and not necessarily just be complicit in these committees. And to take a stance when the stance is needed. And that's why this person left an impression on me that seemed as though they were very much focused on accommodating the professors and accommodating, and working from that framework. And yes, a lot of them came into there with I even, and on some of my notes specifically, I wrote potential, and I understand that we're not all going to come in here with with the mindset that we are this way and we should do it this way, blah blah blah. But I did see a lot of potential in the ways that people received what I and Ari said at the end of the interview, and I did not see that same potential in this candidate. And even if we do decide to elect them, I understand that there are 30 seats, but that one vote could be a changing vote in the conversation, and we have to recognize that. And I think that is critical. And as we do these interviews, we need to acknowledge where people are coming from, and not everybody just because they apply or approved by other folks are this is not necessarily the right space for them, and they maybe do need to grow a little bit outside of that space before they are able to act